Prince Louis is clearly a delightful character, full of energies, full of beans. He clearly finds these photo opportunities very...
Every year on April 23rd, the Wales home goes through a special occasion. And it's not just cake, it's not just balloons, it's not even just the painstakingly prepared birthday photo that eventually shows up on the royal family's official social media sites and dominates the internet for about 45 minutes before everyone moves on with their lives. No, every year on Prince Louis's birthday, something new happens, something that the average public never sees. This family's celebration traditions have become so embedded that it hardly matters what gift is chosen because the act of receiving it has become just as important as the gift itself. We are talking about a tradition that Princess Diana started. Friendship, affection, humor, and let's be honest, a very deliberate and calculated desire to see Prince William suffer in the most loving way possible have all contributed to this tradition. At the conclusion of this, you will discover something about the Wales family that the palace press office will never reveal to the public, so stay with me, of course. You'll discover how they respect one another, how they keep Diana's memory alive, and why Prince William ends up on the ground every year surrounded by instruction manuals, plastic bits, and what can only be described as deep personal sadness. Let's start at the beginning. The boy becomes 8 years old. On April 23, Prince Louis Arthur Charles, the third child of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, celebrated his 8th birthday. Give that some time to land. Because if you have been paying even the slightest attention to Prince Louis throughout the years, you already know that he is not a child who goes ignored. During the 2022 Platinum Jubilee event, this child surprised everyone by sitting on the balcony of Buckingham Palace without saying a word. He covered his mother's mouth, pulled faces, and waved with the passion of someone who thought waving was a kind of performance art. The cameras could not look away from him. During King Charles' coronation, this child was seen mumbling things to his mother. We really don't need to know because Catherine's expression spoke the whole tale. This child is the focal point of a family that is trying to be as normal as possible in many ways, while being one of the most monitored families on the planet. Every year on this boy's birthday, the family also takes a retreat. No public appearances, walkabouts, or engagements are scheduled. Just a family going about their everyday lives at home. But for more than 20 years, Princess Diana's influence has been subtly present in this family's behavior. On Louis' birthday requires some understanding of Diana's nature. As a friend, not as a public figure or a princess, Diana, Princess of Wales, loved to laugh by all accounts. The real kind, not the polished public-facing chuckle that was Julia Samuel. Julia Samuel was one of Diana's closest friends. Many questions remain unanswered, but I'm searching for a bereavement counselor, a woman of extraordinary warmth and stability who was a part of Diana's close circle throughout the most trying years of her life. Julia Samuel also became one of the people who supported the children Diana left. Julia Samuel is now one of Prince George's godparents. She continues to have the greatest and closest relationship with this family. She is also the one who has kept alive a very specific tradition that of her close friends, including Julia's own children. She would deliberately choose something that would be most inconvenient for the parents. And one of the ways she expressed joy, one of the ways she connected with the people she loved was through the gift of laughter. By deliberately setting up a rather chaotic situation that would eventually result in communal laughter. It is a very specific kind of love that has endured. Julia Samuel is carrying the flame. After Diana went, what happened next? What happened to this tradition? Julia Samuel didn't give up. She began choosing toys for the children in her life that were purposely challenging, purposefully noisy, and purposefully built. As her relationship with the Wales family deepened due to her role as Prince George's godparent, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis became the next generation to carry on this tradition. Julia Samuel provided a clever and comprehensive explanation of the gifts during her appearance on the How to Fail podcast. The gadgets are noisy and require a lot of maintenance, she said. She said this with the zeal of someone who knows exactly what she's doing and has no intention of giving up. No, she then brought up a point that completes the picture. Let's think about that for a second. Prince William, the future King of England, spends days on the floor of his home putting together a toy for his youngest kid while surrounded by plastic pieces and detailed instructions. He is a colonel, a leader of many regiments, and a guy who has supervised air ambulance operations and piloted military aircraft. Julia claims that the rest of the family also finds this part amusing, very humorous. That is the most subdued way to describe what is probably a situation of pure domestic humor. Catherine, presumably, watched from a comfortable distance. Additionally, George and Charlotte probably watch with the focused concentration of people who are completely entertained and don't want to help. Louis, the beneficiary of this gift, observes with whatever special excitement an almost 8-year-old has when he realizes that something incredibly intricate and noisy is being made just for him. Why this is more significant than it seems. This is the moment where we should stop, since it is more than just a humorous tale about birthday traditions. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis never met Diana. Images and anecdotes. He has candidly talked about how difficult it was to talk about his mother in the early years after her death, and how he had to work hard to make sure his children knew who she was. Instead of seeing her as a symbol, cultural icon, or abstract image on the front page of the newspaper, he has stated that he wants children to know her as a person, as his mother, as someone who smiled, played, was naughty, and loved people in every year. When Julia Samuel shows up with that box, the complicated one, the noisy one, the one with more parts than should be permitted, she's not just bringing Louis a toy. She's bringing Diana into the room. Over time, she is keeping some of Diana's personality intact. The difficulty is being caused by Diana. The person who purposefully creates the inconvenience is Diana. The laugh that follows is Diana's, in a small yet sincere way. William spends days building that toy on the ground. Maybe as he works, he thinks of his mother and realizes that this is exactly what she would have loved. Even though the person who initiated the laughter is no longer with us, it is still happening in a different home with different children from a different generation. Maybe that's the whole idea, the birthday routine as we know it. Let's talk about Louis's birthday from the outside, because the contrast between the public-facing version and what we now know about the private version is part of what makes this story so compelling. The Wales family deliberately conceals the children's birthdays. William and Catherine have deliberately created this pattern over time, which represents a broader attitude about how they want to nurture their children. The kids are meant to live private lives, that there must be real protected spaces where they are just kids celebrating their birthdays rather than famous people. On the day itself, there are no public events. William and Catherine do not emerge on the steps of a noteworthy sight, looking well-groomed and remarking thoughtfully on how rapidly their child is growing up. There is no official program, no public celebration, just a family at home. What the public does get is one picture, usually taken by Catherine, who has developed into a very talented photographer over the years and distributed via the official channels of the royal family. These pictures have evolved into their own kind of custom. It's more than just a birthday custom that makes this tale memorable. It's what it stands for. Behind the rituals, the royal titles, and the international attention, a family is secretly clinging to something very private, a recollection, a heritage, an emotion that never goes away. It's more than just parenting. Every giggle, every disorganized toy, every second spent on the floor with parts. It serves as a living link to Princess Diana and serves as a reminder that love endures despite a world full of crowns and expectations. Perhaps this is why these little, invisible moments are so important. Because the true tale takes place behind closed doors, where laughter resounds louder than tradition, while the world watches the balcony appearances and official portraits. Make sure to subscribe and stick around if you want more tales that show you the true side of the royal family, the times they don't show you.